Hello YouTube, Infinite Magicraid community, Gandalf here. As promised, let's get our guide series going for Demon Conquest. So Shadowy Cave probably has been around, a lot of guild has beaten it, so if you join an existing guild that has beaten it, you should be able to go in there and claim your rewards for these right away, which is really nice. And as more of these come in and newer players, when you join an existing guild that has cleared these, you can, 4 of these worlds or Demon Conquest now that exist. You join one of these guilds, you're able to get one of these limited heroes right away. So I feel like if I use any of the heroes in here, technically it's fair game. And I think Damian and Andrew being here, enjoying here, make it a lot easier for players to even get, to make sure you get them both, right? You re-roll for one of them and then you try to get the other one. Or easily enough, we'll just get Lance. So let's get started. Demon Conquest. Most of the hero in the second Demon Conquest do have relatively easy mechanics. I think only when we get to the latter ones we actually have to pay attention to mechanics a little bit more. So starting out with the first one, it's very easy. It just simply does poison on you, and we are probably just going to do it with a simple, land setup with just even 2 heroes here. I'm pretty sure that should be suffice. For me, for you, you can pretty much use any of other heroes to do this. But you can see all you need is, I think, 200 mil. So something like this should be more than sufficient. Probably I was a little overconfident there because of all the extra damage I do gets inflicted back. I guess fortunately the deer pet is keeping me alive, and the immunity that I am able to get to help me stay alive. But you can see there you go, 200 mil easily done. A little bit on the close side, but in all seriousness, right? Like we really should be using probably a more suitable team. So for example, for Holder, you're doing a lot of AoE. If you're completely free to play, and again, what I say about this entire series of content is it is not for the early game players. And here what I'm going to probably do is I'm going to pick something along the lines of like Nordak, along with maybe we'll throw in Nita here as well. And it's all about doing a lot of AoE, right? So we're gonna throw in Nita. Maybe we'll put in a little bit around attacker, and I feel like Lydia's had so many reruns, like players should have it. And maybe let's just throw in Santa as well for a little bit extra speed up. All right, and I feel like this is a good showcase of Nerid in terms of, the recent build and buff to it. And for this second boss, all you need to do is just AoE the adds for damage, and you should be fine. So here I'm gonna just speed up the video a little bit. Our goal easily is to get to, I think 400 mil is what we need. So I'm just going to quickly make sure that we focus on the ads here as we go through this video very quickly. And you can see later on in terms of what is the relative damage everybody's doing. Nita with her own echo, it does quite a bit of AoE damage. So it is quite viable over here. But one thing to note is Nita would not be able to make the enemy actually take any dot damage on their turn, which is a little bit of a problem. So if you have heroes that can do damage to the enemy, like decent amount of AoE, where you're not reliant on the enemy to actually take a turn, you should be fine. So here you can see we easily got to the damage threshold that we need for that 200 mil. So you can see the damage distribution. Nita does a solid amount of damage, even though we can't get the enemy to take poison damage directly there. So if you pair her up with something like IMR Candle, you should be fine. For the next boss, the mechanic is pretty straightforward here as well. You want to make sure that you don't have too many heroes of the same mark, and then you should be fine. And here, I believe you need to do how much damage? You need to do 600 mil this time. And here we're going to showcase maybe, I think we showed Lance. Let's show Shadowy on this one. So let's do something like Shadowy. We'll pick a color from each. Maybe we'll do Lydia. We will do what's someone blue? What we'll do Big Jack. We will do let's do Santa. I'll put Nira back in there probably, because Nira is a nice damage boost there. Where is my Santa? And where's my Nerid? There we go. I think this will work for the most part. And again, this boss doesn't have too much mechanic, right? So it will be removed when enemies deal damage to equivalent, but you always do damage to the boss. Just make sure that when you start, when they have more than 3 enemy of the same mark, and then the damage reduces like pretty bad. So the heroes that actually do have the same mark here, you make sure they're not your main damage dealer. So here you can see my main damage dealer is red mark. It's okay that you have two green mark hero where they have tiredness on them. And overall, I think this is going to be fine. You see we're 2 turns in and we're almost at 300 mil damage. Just going to speed up the video a little bit here. And you can see, nice and easy. Santa and Shadowy does crazy damage. You really don't you don't always have to use Damage Indra. I feel like, Lance, Shadowy, all of these heroes are totally viable as well. So you can see we're only 8 turns in and we are, a little bit over, 1.2 bill already. So we'll end it there. And you can see, how much damage Shadowy was doing. On to the next one. This one's Curid. I think for Curid, the boss will... Okay, only one enemy will have Mark of Death. So this is the one where whenever it casts proactively will be transferred to this enemy. Now, when they stack up to 3 times in a row, they die immediately. So here's the thing. You basically don't want your allies to be casting... They need to have some basic attack in there. So if they constantly just cast spells, and then they will be in a little bit of trouble. And you want to be able to make sure that different heroes are rotating the buff around. So pretty straightforward. For this particular one, maybe we'll put in Lydia and we'll put in Lance. Maybe we'll take that out, and maybe we'll just throw in... We'll keep Nerid in here. And I think it's a good showcase to, maybe to use this hero to take advantage of the fact to show, the damage between the two of them, right? Like both of them are decently built for me. Here is my Shadowy. That attack looks, okay, that's because we have attack up. That's why it looks so high. And then over here, Lance is about the same mastery-wise. 180 over here is 130, but this one is more, this one was on a devouring build. This one was on a penetration build. So anyways, let's quickly speed through and then we'll see the damage difference, but this should be easily a solid amount of damage as well. And you can see, having the speed up, having the attack down from Nerid. Like Nerid, with the buff on Nerid becomes so useful all over the place, just because the fact that I can apply the attack down too, and because of all the different debuff I'm applying, right? So on your dot teams, like just bringing Nerid is a huge damage buff across the board. Moreover, I think with her particular echo, you can see I'm stacking that echo onto everybody, and so if I do take a death, everybody loses it, and with Santa, it helps your team survive tremendously. So yeah, huge amount of damage. Nerid is a super great hero here, and I feel like this time around I'm really living into having a little bit more free to play friendly teams. All right, so you can see Shadowy did almost did even more damage than Lance. So just give you a sense, and Shadowy was given out for free completely. My Shadowy maybe is a little bit better geared, but Lance is 180, so I think it's a wash there. So there you go. Both are really solid boss killer. The latest hero that is introduced into the game, Hogarth, is also, I would consider, a boss killer. Like anyone with a mechanic that can focus specifically on doing boss damage is pretty solid. Now, this one gets a little bit tricky when it comes to Madalena. Madalena has a bit of an annoying mechanic where now there are the 2 little ship bosses on the side. They'll randomly connect to enemy, all right? So when the connected enemy will do, 99% less damage to the boss, but it will be removed when we inflict control effect onto the boss that's connecting them. That's a little bit tricky because You need now a solid damage dealer, but also can do control effect. Now, both of these heroes unfortunately cannot. I'm going to try to see if we can make Bobo Ann, which was another hero, viable in this particular situation. Otherwise, we're going to have a little bit of a trouble with this one. Because Bobo Ann can stun. We're gonna try to make this work. And if we don't make it work, then we'll put in Jingle Bell. Let me just check my Bobo Ann. I don't think she's even built properly. Like okay. Fine. Let's go with that. I mean, I don't think she's properly geared right now, but that's okay. So you can see all these little marks on their heads, right? And this is where we start to get to the last 3 boss. Things get a little bit more mechanically challenging. So I'm gonna do, and I feel like it's fair to use Lydia and Santa, right? They had so many reruns. One's completely free. Big Jack has had a decent number of reruns as well. So I'm going to start off with, I think this first spell has a stun on it, if I remember correctly. Yeah, there is there's an 80% chance to do stun. So if I do this, so you can see the little mark on top of the head is gone, right? Now, if it has one of the other marks, that means I just need to make sure I stun the other one. So here, I stun the enemy. I just need to make sure she's now capable of doing damage to the boss. I want to speed myself up. Nerid will... So Nerid can technically apply CC onto the enemy as well, right? So we should be fine being able to get a good number of debuff onto the enemy here. Let's debuff the enemy there. So there you can see I got rid of that mark. Now Nerid needs to hit this to apply CC. So there, Nerid's damage now is going through as well. Let's try to buff them both. The drown damage was decent. But I am a little bit scared that I'm not going to be able to do enough damage here. I feel like Nerid is going to hit more than Bobo Ann, actually. Yeah, that damage is not impressive at all. Like, I don't have a... Like, I build her as a debuffer, as opposed to actually putting serious damage on her. I really don't think she's properly geared. I don't even know if Bobo Ann can be considered as a decent damage dealer. But, okay, I see she has her resonance on. Maybe that would change the game a little bit. Okay, that looks a little bit more reasonable in damage, but we're still a little bit short on time. Maybe, okay, so that's another big hit of resonance. Okay, resonance is gone. But we're only at 130 mil or so. So that's a little bit on the short side. I'm trying to think what's another damage dealer here that has a good control effect that also goes with it. So maybe we'll exit here right now, but that at least explains to you the mechanic. Like normally it will be really easy to do it with Jingle Bell because Jingle Bell can CC and do a ton of damage. But here you can see, okay, the damage is all right. Let's just quickly take a look at my Bobo Ann here. Yeah, I don't think that's how I would build her. The mastery is here. Okay, HP is here. Yeah, but it's like first aid kit. I think it was just like the subs are not even right. So I will put a proper set on her, and her HP and mastery should go up way more. She should have a proper echo instead of something like this. She probably would do well with Anhegen's Sunbeam Strike, so I probably need to equip something like this. Do I actually have more copies of it? What am I actually using on my Anhegen? Okay, so anyways, it's probably worth it to keep one on each. But anyways, let's go back. Let's go back there. Let's just quickly take a look. Whoops, sorry, wrong one. Demon Prison. So for her, let's see what else do we have. That probably is a solid damage dealer, but also with a control effect in it. I mean, of course, you know, Giselle, Marie and these limited heroes are really strong for damage dealing. Now, Shireen doesn't actually have a CC with her, so she can't actually CC to get rid of it. I don't see that many good options. Maybe Imercando has a CC. Maybe you can try Imercando. I don't know. Imercando doesn't feel right. Yeah, I feel like this is at a point where you're kind of limiting yourself to one of these three heroes if you can't get a team like this to work. I feel like you can get it to work. Maybe just for me, the raw stats. I think what you can do is maybe instead of Lydia or instead of maybe instead of Lydia, put in something like put in what is it? Where HP burn? Like my Santa doesn't have the echo on right now, but if you bring in something like Malosh, maybe this will do enough HP burn damage because you're further scaling the HP burn damage from these heroes. I feel like if you try something like this, you might be able to beat it. Trying not to make the guy too long. We're just going to go to the next hero here. When it comes to the last two hero, you really do need a lot of resonance damage here. The mechanic for this boss is not too difficult. You just need to make sure that you have heroes that can attack it with resonance. So whenever you're doing resonance damage, it will allow you to remove the shadow wall. Otherwise, you're not doing a lot of damage. And for him, you do need to get to 800 mil. This is now where we go into the pay to win territory a little bit. It is pretty hard to do a lot of resonance damage consistently. Here, I will recommend. I mean, yes, everybody has Opsora, but maybe something like this will be a little bit more reliable in terms of consistent damage. And then here, you just bring in your best damage dealers. So maybe I will do. I feel like Jingle Bell is fair game at this point. But if we don't want to use Jingle Bell again, I feel like Lance with Big Jack. And maybe let's put in Wukong just for survivability. Because at this point, the boss do hit pretty hard. Let's give it a try. We're just going to auto this. And the mechanic part is pretty straightforward, right? So you can see these shields, right? And what we want to do is do resonance damage here, and you can see Jocelyn as long as you have decent direct damage. That's why I also want to bring in Wukong's direct damage to help hit the boss and charge up for Jocelyn to hit that pretty consistently. But even a team like this, right, we're not getting that shield off frequently enough, I feel. Like, and Lance's damage is a little bit of a... Okay, maybe a few more stacks. I feel like... Yeah, it is pretty rough. We'll see very shortly what is the damage distribution. I feel like we got 2 more turns left. I wonder if we can hit the 800 mil requirement here. I feel like it's going to be close. We need like a pretty big hit. One more big hit from Lance. Okay, just barely enough. Okay, but you can see Lance did half the damage. Jocelyn did a decent amount as well. But like this is where you really need solid heroes. Now, of course, you can bring Marie here and it will be a breeze. Now on to the last hero. Nadia hits really hard. Okay, Nadia hits so hard, much harder than the previous boss. And again, it's a very similar mechanic where you do need to make sure that you get heroes under resonance status and then be able to attack it right away. This boss is not easy for free to play. You really need... ideally you start out with 2 heroes with resonance status and then be able to do a lot of damage from there. You ideally want some sort of revive mechanic as well, just because it will pursue attack and really hit you very, very hard. So I would recommend even considering something like, here, let's give this a try. So resonance, we're going to put 2 resonance hero in here that may be a little bit more easily obtainable. Let's try these 2 together. And if we bring heroes with a lot of shields and control, they should be able to get resonance pretty quick, I think. I'm going to try maybe Aerotowing here. I'm going to put in Nurid. And I'm also going to put in Momolo. I feel like this could be a decent setup for it. I don't know if I'm going to get to the 800 mil though. So you can see I first need to get to 2 full resonance, and here we need to get a lot of shields to help Elise get the resonance up. Wait, how does Elise get resonance again? Is it? Oh well, let's try to. Oh, okay, that's not gonna work. So we're not gonna use Elise for sure, because we're not gonna be inflicting a lot of control attacks. Rainite gets it from shield. So again, we need more heroes with resonance, right? And right now there just simply isn't enough heroes with resonance. I'm gonna just put in Opsora. Maybe that's a little bit cheating in your mind. We're kind of on the last hero. We're already 20 minutes into this video. Everybody has resonance status. The boss has basically easily got rid of the shield. What's really nice is once you get rid of the shields, I don't think it ever comes back for the rest of the fight. We're just going to speed through. Now, for this particular fight, you do need to bring sufficient survivability. The boss do hit very hard, and this is why I was like, I want to bring a revive. But overall here, you can see with a team like this, we are definitely doing enough damage, but just barely, right? And Aerito, you know, is definitely doing majority of the damage for us, but we do have a nice buff together. But okay, oh my god, even with these teams together, okay, so the boss does look like it will get back the, so you do need resonance. You need to be able to get both heroes into resonance status together, I believe. Here it says, yeah, if 2 more heroes are under the resonance status. So it's super annoying, right? Like you need a resonance heavy team. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to kill it. I was doing so well damage wise, but then I lost the resonance status. So yeah, but I do feel like with more and more heroes added to the game where they do have resonance status, it will potentially make this fight a little bit easier. Like when we actually did the fight, of course, we used Marie. Marie's pretty much in resonance status the whole time throughout the fight. I'm sure new limited heroes added to the game will help as well. I know people are gonna be like, oh, this is so pay to win. Let's just say, you know, you don't have to get the last one, but you still can get plenty of shards from the other stages. So if you think about it, like 5, 10, 10, 10, 15. So per stage, you can get 1 copy of Sotra if you can't beat the last boss. Hopefully this guide was helpful for you. Let me know your thoughts in the comment below, and I'll catch you in the next one. And I will try my best, because I know people are demanding me to make these guides, and I've been really busy the last 2 months. I will try to get Fiery Abyss done maybe Sunday night before it's over. So for those of you who are working on it 2 weeks, I guess a week from now, you know, we'll have the guides ready. I'll catch you next time. Gandalf out.